y'all, it's your favorite lawyer, attorney Simone Redwine, and I'm here with my new show called Girl, Is That Legal? Where we talk legal infotainment. We'll talk celebrity drama, but we also answer viewer questions to give you some self help tips if you want to handle a legal question all on your own. Tune in each week. Girl, Is That Legal?
Testing. I think we got it. Can we hear me now? Can't hear you. Mic is on. Yes, they can hear. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. So rewind, press play, right? So I'm Adriana. I'm one of the producers for the Is That Legal? Girl, Is That Legal podcast. So here we are going to get into the show. Simone is going to put a little lipstick on so she can get real pretty for you guys. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Technical difficulties, man. Technical difficulties. But we're getting there. So Simone, she's slapping a little lipstick on. She'll be right out. So just hang tight, guys. So where's everybody from? How are y'all feeling tonight? How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are having a great Wednesday. Hump day. Let's see. All right. All right. Yes. We are live at 5. Okay, here we go. Miss Simone.
Apologies, guys, y'all. I'm sorry. I know that was ghetto. It's been quite the day. Good, you can hear me, but I promise you, this one is going to be worth it. So I'm going to look this way. We're adjusting. So we were getting things together to move, and so and like get our house and everything all together. And so we packed so much stuff up, I couldn't find my makeup. So I'm looking crazy, running around looking crazy. So we're going to slap some lipstick on this pig, literally. How am I doing? I'm doing great. Thank you. I don't have a beverage, though. Can you ask Rasheed to give me a beverage? All right, but I have help today. So, um, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me, and we're going to jump right into it. Anonymous is ready. And you guys, I apologize, but a portion of the delay was because we had a last minute update. Which I can't wait to include into reference when we answer Anonymous's questions today. But let me go ahead and bring on Anonymous. Here we go. All right, Anonymous, I think you have, let's see, you have muted yourself, but there we go. I should be able to hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Great. Okay, so I apologize for the delay once again. Thank you so much for being such a great sport. Okay, guys. All right, let's hop right into it. So I'm going to go ahead, Anonymous, and I'm going to post your, this is actually a summary of the reason that you gave us for why it is that you wanted a background check. And before we get into that, let me pull it off the screen just real quick so I can make sure I give the disclaimer. But let's remember, guys, we've got the disclaimer that this show is for entertainment purposes only. We're not your lawyers. I'm not your lawyer because you haven't paid me. Perhaps I could be in the future if you did, or if we worked out a contingency fee basis. But that's not tonight. Tonight is going to be multifaceted. And tonight we are going to get down to the bottom of this guy's background check. So have to give that disclaimer. As well, guys, I really appreciate any help. If you want to support the channel, This is my Cash App, and that is the PayPal because Adriana isn't free. Thank you. Slavery is over. So I've laid those out there. We'll pull this from. So let's start with, why is it that you wanted the background check? So I'm going to go ahead and read this excerpt from your questionnaire, which was, you stated, help, I need a background check on my stalker ex who will not stop blackmailing me and my kids. So 7 years ago, while you guys were together, it says, I was struggling and his worthless self wouldn't help. So I signed up for public assistance. I lied on the application and I used one of his businesses as my employer because he wouldn't allow me to work. And I needed money to take care of my children. After we split up, he started harassing me, stalking me, saying that because I put his name on a piece of paper almost 10 years ago, that he suddenly got a tax lien from the state because I, quote, turned him into a business. Now, he said he will only stop bothering me. He will only stop bothering me and won't turn me in for welfare fraud if you take him back. Girl, is that the general gist of it?
That is the general gist of it.
Got you. Now, you added a little bit more. These are some additional important facts that I'm just going to go ahead and add, which were that, in addition, it's gotten absolutely ridiculous at this point because he's now started harassing your children, your daughter specifically. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Girl, that is all kinds of crazy. So I'm going to read what she wrote here. The man has hacked into my email, my bank accounts, social media. He has placed trackers on my vehicle. My daughter is 20 now, and he's even started harassing her, creating fake social media accounts and leaving disturbing comments on her and her friends' pages. That has crossed the line, and I'm afraid at this point. He's basically cyber stalking me at this point, trying to blackmail me into being with him. He is crazy. I just need to know if his complaint is legit. When I've asked him for paperwork about this lien, on the alleged tax lien, so that I can just give him the money and be done, he refuses to give me anything. He's had so many businesses. For all I know, he never filed any of his state taxes, and this has nothing to do with me. When I turned in my paperwork for assistance, that was back in 2016. And all I put down was his business name on it, and I didn't provide any tax ID or anything else. So I don't think those firms were used to turn him into an employer. I think they were just used as a guide to show how much assistance a person could get. So you went on, you shared a few more things, but basically, you've tried multiple times, it sounds like, to get a restraining order, a CPO protective order against him, and you've been unsuccessful. It said you've filed police reports, and it said the reports amounted to nothing. They didn't follow up or even talk to him. It said you were unable to get a protective order because the judge said he didn't pose a physical threat to me. Okay, he did not pose a physical threat to me. We're gonna come back to that, y'all. I don't play that. And you said, excuse me, but I do believe emotional distress is also part of a protective order. And being that I have attempted to take my own life because of the things that this man has been doing to me, I would think you can't get any more emotionally distressed than that. I just need help. I feel like at least taking one thing away from him that he's trying to use as a means to harass me would give me at least some kind of relief. This man is ruining my life. And by that, you mean taking away the fact that either you do or you don't owe him this money for this lien. And if you owe it, give it to him and be free. Is that basically it?
Pretty much just taking away like something that he's using as a means to try to intimidate and to have any reason to have anything to even bother me about.
Absolutely. Now, hold on one second. Okay, gotcha. So I want to just make sure, though, these are your children, correct? Not his children.
Yes, just yeah,
Okay.
they're just mine.
So y'all got together. So let's take it. Let's start from the beginning. How did you guys meet? And tell us about how you
Okay.
met and how you came to date each other.
We actually met online, like through social media.
Mm-hmm.
The devil.
All right. And were you guys both like in the same city, near similar cities?
We're in the same city. Yeah,
Okay.
we started talking online, and then we just started hanging out. We started out as friends, and then it escalated from there.
Okay. About how long did you guys date before his crazy showed up?
Um, I would say probably 6 months or so.
Okay.
And then even at that time, I was just, I don't know, I was overlooking a lot of red flags that I shouldn't have overlooked.
And why was that? Why do you feel like what were some of the red flags?
Just like being real controlling. He would almost like when I kind of started to see his controlling and I was kind of trying to put a distance between us, he would kind of create situations to where it would seem like I would like need him. So like for example, I had stopped talking to him, and then all of a sudden I started getting these phone calls from like app numbers and text messages from this random person, and of course he comes in to save the day like, oh well, you shouldn't be at home by yourself, you don't know who that is, trying to come around more, and it probably in the same time it was probably him.
Got you.
Just
No.
doing stuff. My car would get vandalized. Like nobody had ever messed with me prior to any of this, but all of a sudden my tires are getting flattened, and it's like, oh, I should come stay over there, stay the night over there, just to make sure that nobody bothers you guys, stuff like that. And it's like in the back of my head, I'm thinking like it's probably him, but he is like one of those gaslighting narcissist people that's
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like he'll literally like do something right in front of your face and then tell you,
Pretend like it
you're
never happened.
crazy. I didn't, what are you talking? Yeah, one of
Absolutely.
those.
Now tell me this. Did you guys ever live together?
Mm-mm. No.
Wait. So he's telling you you're not allowed to work, but yet he's not. Y'all aren't even like staying together. Girl,
Yeah,
how
so
did you let this man tell you you're not allowed to work? Like, what?
I don't, because there was a time where like I was in a bad place. This
Okay.
was years ago, and like my car had broke down,
Mhm.
and so instead of like he has all this money to do all this stuff to help me out with
Allegedly.
bills and everything, but he don't want to give me money to get my car fixed. So instead I
Mm.
need to, well, I'll give you a ride here, or I'll take you
He
there. You
wants you to
don't
need
need,
him.
yes, like I said,
Mhm.
create situations where I need him. This make me dependent on him.
Juice.
I
Okay.
did try. I would try to get jobs, and like how I said, he was stalking and hacking into my emails and social media accounts. It's
But
like
that wasn't
I
until after y'all broke up, though, right?
no, I believe it was prior to that too. Like I said, there
Are
was
you
red
dating?
flags because it was like
Okay.
I would apply for jobs, and he would make little comments like, what are you gonna go do? Go get a job. Like it's like, how do you know that I was just applying for jobs yesterday and you just randomly talking about, oh, you about to go get a job or something? Like, how you gonna get there? You don't got no like just little comments. It's like,
Okay.
how would you know that?
Now, but the thing was, but he owned a company, so why didn't he just offer to let you work for his company?
I don't know,
What kind of company?
because then he'd have to pay me. And then
Yeah.
I wouldn't need him.
Okay, got you. Right. 'Cause he doesn't want
Like
you to
one
have
of the
transportation because you could leave him. He doesn't want you to have
right.
money because you could leave him. No, when I initially read your question and your request, I thought he was going to be like 500 pounds, like super ugly, couldn't get anybody else. Like one of those, like, my 600-pound life kind of guy, a little stinky, got to lift up his rolls, one of those. But he's actually good looking. Like he looks perfectly normal. Was his presentation part of what took you a little while to figure out he was nuts?
Yeah, he's definitely very deceiving. He seems normal. I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so let's get into more a little bit about you, and how we got here today. So someone is asking, was it because of child care at the time that you weren't working? Did you just lose your job, or kind of what got you into that bind that you were in at the time?
At the time, it wasn't childcare. It was, I think I actually was working when I first met him.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first met him, like I said, we were friends first. I was working, and then he had his businesses, and I think he kind of alluded to the fact like you should just come work for me.
What kind of
And
business
so
was
he had like multiple businesses. He had like online boutiques.
it? Okay.
He had like a lot of online businesses.
Okay.
So that which was appealing to me because it's like, oh, you're working from home, like, and you're making a decent living,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So he had a couple online stores. Um,
Gotcha. So we're here with Anonymous, y'all, and Anonymous has requested a background check into her stalker ex boyfriend. They dated for approximately 6 months back in 2016, and during that time, he didn't want her to work. He didn't want her to have transportation. He wanted to quote take care of her, but he was stingy and he had broke behavior. So one of the things that she had ended up needing to do was file for government assistance. And in filing for government assistance, nowadays they make you put down an employer. At some point, they make you show that you're at least trying to get back on your feet. And so, in doing that, she wrote down his company as her employer. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And you wrote it down, and you only did that for what? That was like 3 weeks or a month?
It was so short term because it was like literally this is how you know, again, I'm pretty sure he was hacking into my stuff because I emailed the forms over, and by the next day he had already said something about, so you're putting me, you're trying to get me in trouble for fraud. And like, I
Well,
know
hold
they
on.
didn't call
Let's answer
him.
this. How much money did you get as a result of this? Let's start there. How
I
much?
wasn't even getting $100. It was like some food stamps, and it was like $50 a month. So it's not like
Girl,
it wasn't even worth it. So it was like like after he started hounding me and harassing me about it and
right.
stuff, I was just like, I just had them close the case because I'm like, I can't show up for these appointments. I couldn't show up for the appointments anyways because I didn't have transportation, and
Because
like
he wasn't gonna take you to
he
get
went
no food stamps. Food,
right,
forget it. He said you need
right,
to only eat what he puts on the table for you, which is gonna be nothing. He wanted to keep you hungry. What kind of dumb
exactly.
foolishness is that? And it's food stamps at that. Like,
Yes, like
yeah, that should be your clue. Can I ask you, ma'am, are you white?
yeah, I'm Hispanic.
Okay, Hispanic. Okay, okay. Well, that's not the same. But I asked this because the area that you live in, like, is Middle America, right? And I went to
Hmm.
college in that area. And
Hmm.
when I went to college over there, I went to college in Pittsburgh, and my white homegirls were always in some shit like this. And I used to be like, I don't know why they are trying you like this. Now, I'm not saying they are, Barack Obama for us, but it was some of the level of the bullshit. I almost wondered if they were trying y'all to the extent that they were, just because they thought they could get away with it more so. I don't know, but I just had to ask because you know what you're not going to do is tell me what to do, and you got me on food stamps. You know, I dated a man who used to give me food stamps, but he would give them to me. Like, it was Valentine's Day 2002, and I was a college student, and it was so sweet. He took me to the neighborhood he grew up in, and he said, I'll be right back. And he drove me to the projects. He found a crackhead who had extra money on her food stamps, and we took the food stamps to the grocery store, and he bought me Valentine's Day cards. Well, he bought me Valentine's gifts with the woman's food stamps, and then I was able to buy my whole class Valentine's Day cards. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to be dealing with somebody in their public assistance, what you want is somebody who is going to enlighten you and help you at the same time, but not take advantage of the situation. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just break this down. But most importantly, what really ticked me off here was the fact that your daughter, he's now like making nasty Facebook comments on her page.
Oh my God, he made a Twitter page and like so made it pretending to be me and putting like disgusting comments, and it was like pictures of like a lot of sexually geared stuff. Like it was pictures, like one meme with like a bunch of dildos on it, just like a bunch of bullshit that you don't put on a young girl's page. Like, and then
Wow.
you're like tagging and liking stuff of her friends so that
Got it.
they will come to the page and look and be like, is that your
Mhm.
mom putting shit on here about dildos and sex
Oh
and
my
eating
God.
pussy and stuff like that? Like,
Now,
yeah.
let's talk about your attempts to get a restraining order, because we're gonna talk about what you tried before, and then by the time before we're done with this, girl, I'm gonna give you some tips because I need you to get right back up there, try it again, and we're gonna get you this restraining order for reasons we're about to reveal. So, in the past, how many times did you attempt to try and get a restraining order previously?
Three times.
3 times.
Yes.
And was it always was it a female judge, male judge, what?
It's a female magistrate, and it's the same one every time.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Same one every time. Someone was asking about y'all's ages. The both of you are in your 40s at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Female magistrate. You tried 3 separate times. And what was the gist of what she told you each time, when she would reject you?
Basically, it's, I don't see any physical harm here. I don't see you being in any physical danger. And the one time she just said, it just sounds like a bad breakup to me, and I'm really not seeing any cause to warrant this protection order. The first hearing lasted 5 hours and needed a continuance because I had an attorney. He did not. And it was like, if you ever see like some show on TV where like the crazy person is representing their self and they're like asking all these crazy questions and like referring to their self in third person, that's what she allowed for 5 hours for a simple CPO hearing.
There's no
where we had to break for lunch, come back, and still finish out the rest of the day to where it was like, okay, well, it's almost 4:00. It's the end of the day. We're going to have to continue. And it's like, you're letting him ask me questions that have absolutely nothing to do with any of this stuff.
That's
like,
absurd. Hell, it sounds like the hearing itself was harassment.
Exactly. I'm like, I should file something against you.
Can you tell me the judge's name? I want to see if she's still a judge over there. Do you remember her name?
It is Candy O'Connor.
Let me see, Miss Candy. Do you know whether she is?
Probably.
Let me find out. O'Connor. Because also, if election time is coming, we need to get her out of there. Candy O'Connor, Chief Magistrate. Yeah, it looks like she is. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like she's still. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, she's the Chief Magistrate. So that might mean that she got elevated and therefore she may not be in charge. We'll find out. All right, let's go. Okay, let's go back. So you tried 3 times, no success. All right, so let's do the reveal. Let's go right on over here. Yeah. All right, so I'm trying to, where should we start? Let's start with, well, first of all, it's very important. And y'all, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will be going back and forth to see them. I hate this man so much. I'm sorry. And before we get into it as well, I want to make sure you guys know, if you or a loved one would like a free background check, would like to win one from myself, I'm going to drop the link in the description, but you just need to complete the form so that you can win one. It's free. All you have to be willing to do is come on the show to receive your free results. Okay. Also, you do have to be following me on social media, et cetera, et cetera. But if you don't want to come on the show to get your results, you want a background check, but you want private results, I do that too. You can click the link in my Instagram bio, or the link, it'll be in the description later on tonight, where I do confidential one-on-ones. I have done them for people that are looking for an ex. There was a woman who, her own attorney was unable to serve her baby daddy, and we were able to locate him, get his social security number, and get her everything she needed to get him served and get her case moving. So it's, we got it. No problem. So here we go. Let's start with this. First of all, I want you to know you're not alone. Unfortunately, you are not alone. So apparently he has done this to others. Were you aware of that, or have you talked to anybody else that he's stalked before?
I've seen his the court records.
Okay. So are you familiar with this one? This one is actually after your situation. So your situation started in 2016. This is a 2019 case, actually. Let me pull that one down for a second. But this one is a case, basically, I have the information here. This is a case where the plaintiff, I'm going to read it to you. Basically, she's brought claims alleging that he has basically stalked, harassed her, defamed her. It was libel. It was intentional infliction of emotional distress, all the above. So let me get to part 2. All right. So basically, what happened was the plaintiff and her sister, they discussed creating an adult toy store. They wanted to sell sex toys, basically, and create a sex toy website. During this time, he was dating the plaintiff's sister. Now, timelines matter. This was December of 2015. Wasn't this when y'all was dating?
Mm-hmm.
December. Okay, so he was dating you guys at the same time. So December 2015, the plaintiff's sister mentioned that she was working on another website with the defendant, the guy that's been harassing you, and that he could potentially help the plaintiff with her idea in creating their sex toy website, basically. She goes on to say that the plaintiff submitted payment to the guy. She gave him 2 payments for work on the website. He refunded both of the payments, probably like implying like, oh no, I'm dating your sister. It's cool. No problem. He then did some more work on the site. So she sent him another payment, and an additional payment. He then refunded a third payment. He kept only one of those payments. And then he sent a final refund, basically giving her all her money back, because he's dating her sister. Then apparently him and the sister break up. She hears nothing about this for 3 years. And then this mofo, excuse me, in 2019, he pops up and sends her an invoice for $343. That's what we're talking about here. $343, his little petty behind. She ignored it. She didn't trust the link. She was like, maybe this is spam. Maybe something's wrong. This doesn't make sense. That was in February of 2019. This fool, 6 months later in June, makes a GoFundMe and posts a link to the GoFundMe on his Facebook page. The GoFundMe is seeking $343 for the money that the sister won't give him. Oh, it gets stupider. After he makes the GoFundMe, he posts a link to his own Facebook and had an audacity to send a Facebook request to the plaintiff. In the description of the GoFundMe, he makes all kind of outrageous claims about her, implying she's involved with bestiality, which is having sex with animals, and that she was also racist. She's Latina as well, per the name. The defendant also posted her salary and where she works for the last 10 years. She is a public employee. So he was able to pull it from a public source. So he puts that online too. He then makes a blog called hername.com and thetruthaboutHername.com. And through that, he made more allegations. He made T-shirts to sell, calling her racist and all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. And as a result, she was trying to get a job as a counselor at a children's facility. And all of this stuff was stuff that was impeding her from being able to get a job and do a variety of things. So she goes on to hold on. Oh, good. We can, hold on. It says you can't hear me. 3:15.
No.
They can hear me now?
Yeah.
Let's make sure. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So just to make sure, she then has issues with her jobs, blah, blah, blah. So she files this lawsuit against him. Now, Because I take this really, really seriously. Obviously you've won this background check. I do it for free. But I reached out to her and we had a very interesting conversation. The reason I say that you're not the only one is, so not only did he do this, unfortunately, he dodged service. So first I will conclude and give you the summary of what happened with this case. And what happened with this is ultimately nothing. He dodged service intentionally. And so she was unable to serve him. And the judge in that case told her, if you don't get him served, after she had like 4 or 5 attempts, if you don't get him served, then I'm dismissing your case basically. And she could dismiss it with prejudice, meaning she could never bring it back. So the plaintiff here chose to dismiss it herself until she could confirm his location. Now, let me say this, because nuts like him are absolutely going to try and avoid being served. If that happens, you have a third option. And there's an option where literally they can tape it to the front door of their last known address, and that can be considered sufficient service. I don't see where they ask for that. It may be, perhaps it's not an option in your state, but in most states, if you can't personally serve someone, that actually is an alternative. So just FYI. But going on, I had asked more about, like, how did things end up with the sister, right? Because it all started with the sister dating him. Girl, same way. The sister went and applied multiple times for a restraining order against this fool. So did you realize that you weren't the first person who's applied for a restraining order against him?
Like I said, I did some nosing around online, and those were like court records. So
Correct.
I
Gotcha.
saw those.
Well, not only that, but so I asked more. I said, okay, has that been resolved? Does she still feel that way? And she said she tried multiple times. She got the same response you did, which was, she was told, oh, it just sounds like a bad business relationship. Correction. The plaintiff tried to get a restraining order and was told, oh, it just sounds like a bad business relationship. The sister was told what you were told, which is, it just sounds like a breakup. It doesn't seem like you should be in fear for your safety. But guess what? He started doing the same thing to her daughter. Her daughter was also, I believe, like 21, in her 20s ish, late teens, early 20s, started leaving nasty comments, leaving inappropriate things on Facebook. So you're not the only one. So I'm going to keep revealing what else I found. But in the end of this, I would love to introduce you or connect you with her, because I would love to help the two of you guys double team this mofo and get a restraining order together. Because I dare her, after we reveal all this, I dare her to look the both of you in your face and be like, psych-alike, he's just annoying.
Right.
Also, you have to understand, judges have huge dockets, right? So they're seeing this as a one-off. But if they know that at this point, it's the 4 of you that need to apply for this restraining order. By 4, I mean you and your daughter, her and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need the news. I dare this lady. Play with me if you want to. We need the news. Because I bet if y'all look like her, if y'all look like Miss Candy that I just pulled up, Candy looked like she donates to Trump for fun. That she has a Trump fund every month that she ties, and then she puts the rest of it over to the side for Trump, just in case she needs to pay his bail or get him out of prison. That's what Miss Candy looks like. So all 4 of y'all need to go up to that little courthouse and tell Miss Candy y'all need to have a new conversation. All right, so let's get to the rest of this. Your main thing you want to know is about, he keeps blackmailing you over this goddamn welfare that you had for 3 weeks, which was like, what did we say? Like $50 at most. So now I'm going to share with you a summary of his civil bullshit. Okay, his civil's crap. Here we go. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Just triple check here. Somebody said, do these judges who are presiding on these cases look at full criminal backgrounds? Oh no, that's a great question. Absolutely not. They only look at what you give them, and therein lies the problem. See, regular people don't have access to the system that I have to reveal these results. And so if you don't have all of this, then you're at a disadvantage. The other thing is, of course, the defendant knows all that he's been through. But the other thing as well is, so when you're going for a protective order, you need to call someone like me. Let me run a check on them so that you can then provide those documents to the court. Great question. All right. So what we have here, these are all of his civil cases. This is just one county. This is one county. Okay. Here's what's important. I want you to see these dates. Are you able to see it? Anonymous.
Yeah.
What's on the screen?
Yeah, I've got it.
Are you looking from your? Okay.
Yeah.
The gist of what I want you to see here is in the majority of these, oh boy, is the defendant. There's a few where he's the plaintiff, and that's where he's harassing people. He harassed a different woman. He's just very annoying. But what I really want you to see here is all these that say Ohio Department of Taxation. Boom, 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 boom. Because remember, your question was, your situation happened in 2016, and he's claiming that you turned him into a business. That's a lie. So the bottom line is, it's a lie. And this is why he would not give you any documentation. You didn't turn him into a business. He had been a business. Not only that, but I called the courts. So I had the case numbers and so forth that I just put up on the screen, right? I looked at all of those, and then I went into each case and I wanted to see, okay, so we know when these are all lawsuits the state of Ohio has against him for tax liens. Were you aware of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's trying to say is my fault.
It's your fault. Well, I'm glad that you said that. I actually called them and I had a conversation with them. So, with the attorney who filed these, and I got dates and I got times and I got all of this. First of all, no, and hell no. Okay, you are not responsible for any of this. And this is important too, because what he would likely say when you go back and ask for a restraining order is he's going to say, oh, the only reason I was contacting her was for my money. I just want to be clear is that it's not harassment if they're calling you to get their money back. That's not considered harassment. But when they know it's not owed, then it is. Okay. Specifically, I got to give you these numbers. Y'all, this was some foolishness. This was some straight up craziness. There's so many. It was so much to write down. Okay. So what we got here. All right. So what happened was he has his own business, like you said, and it was some of his online boutique and different things like that, right? So guess what? Every single one of these taxes, these tax liens and tax judgments that he has, they're all for him in his personal name. If you had turned him into a business, it would have been the business that you stated that you worked for who would be getting sued. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
Yes.
None of these are the state versus the business. Not a one. Even though he has multiple businesses. It's the state versus him. Why? Because the attorney on the line stated that this is all for sales tax. Unpaid sales tax. From his stupid boutique. You can't, because there's two types of sales tax for businesses. There's a sales tax where, like, if people are buying a product from you, right, you have to pay those. And then there's also taxes that are due just from your maintaining inventory. Basically, what they say is all the stuff that you have is valuable, and so we're going to tax you on this. Someone said they were doing double D and texting someone. Oh, gotcha. So what was happening? So the truth of the matter is, this is from his clothing store, his this, his that. And let me tell you, now it started in It started in 2016 because that is when he first started telling the state he was operating that business. That didn't have nothing to do with you. Okay? What he would owe for you would have been wage taxes, employee taxes, any of that. You didn't work there long enough for any of that to be done. So you didn't turn him into being a business. He was a business. He had an online boutique. He's selling clothes online, all of that. He's just extra stupid. Extra stupid. And I'll say this. So I got the numbers right now. And the thing is, it's grown every year because he ain't never paid these taxes.
Never.
That don't have nothing to do with you. Including today, his tax total. Wait for this. This is great. This is really good. Because when back when the year that you quote worked there for 3 weeks, it was only like $4,000 that was estimated that he owed in sales tax. Just starting a business. Today, he owes them people $218,000, $218,655.91.
Oh my God. Over some $4,000 sales tax that he just never filed.
Because it wasn't $4,000. He keeps doing it every year. He never pays his sales tax. He knows that they're there. Those are actual lawsuits that have been filed against him. So just like he didn't want to show up in that other lady's lawsuit, he apparently hasn't want to show up for this either. But that's fine because he can't do nothing. He can't buy a house. He can't do anything. He even growing his business. That's why he's so miserable. So he has a full sheet of paper with nothing but lawsuits against him. In whatever state they live in. Yeah, exactly, Miss Cynthia. He has a full sheet of paper. So we got this. All right. So basically what her issue is, she's being blackmailed by her ex. He's claiming that because she wrote down for her wealth, she had to get welfare because he was trifling and wasn't helping her. And welfare made her list who she was working for. She listed his little online boutique company. And he claims as a result, it's created a tax lien. That is not true. They actually don't even communicate with the bureau that would be for employees, as well as you could have very easily been an independent contractor. Okay. So again, forget that. None of that is the case. But we are going to conclude. I want to make sure that I am very clear with you. The other thing he keeps saying, right, is that he's going to turn you in if you don't get back with him.
Right.
Girl, that happened in 2016. The statute of limitations for welfare fraud is which is generally a federal offense, not state, but is approximately 5 years. It's over and done. He could tell Jesus Christ himself and nothing could be done. Okay? Nothing could be done. So it is just his way of continuing to stay in touch with him. And last but not least, all right, so do you have any questions on what I've shared with you so far?
No, I'm happy. I'm just
good.
relieved. This is good
Does
news.
that include interest on the amount? So the $218,655.91, it's not just at interest. See, the amount grows every year that you continue to operate your business, sell goods, and not pay your taxes. You know, there's a reason why stores collect sales taxes. So there may be some interest in there, but a lot of it is principal as well. Thank you. So, all right. Last but not least, we got the finale here. So, here we go. You got a drink? I'm going to take my sip.
We're going financial or
At the final. We already did the financial. Okay. All right. We're going to do the finale, which is criminal. All right. Here we go. What is your understanding of what was on his criminal record?
There is nothing on, like if you look on the court website, there's nothing. The only other thing I saw was just a lot of civil stuff.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's why you hire me. Now, after I show you this, I don't want to hear no more excuses about that doggone CPO. Do you promise that if I will assist you, I'm not a Ohio attorney, okay, but I will get you in the right direction, that you will try one more time for your safety and the safety of your daughter.
Absolutely.
To get restraining order. All right, here we go. So there's a lot of redactions going on here. Make it bigger. All right, so he's got like 2 disorderly conducts. Oh, pull down that banner just so they could see the very bottom of it. He's got 2 disorderly conducts, blah, blah, blah. Of course, he's disorderly. But I wish I could zoom in. This right here is the one that matters, that I'm most concerned about. In 2007, he was charged with rape. Not just rape, but rape and kidnapping.
So how is that not on his criminal record?
I asked the same thing too, right? Because I did the county searches. So I want to make sure y'all see that. See this kidnapping? Hit a like. If you see the kidnapping, go ahead, hit a like on on the chat. Go ahead, hit a like. We need to get that engagement up. So here's why I called and I found out. What it is this. He was able to beat that case too. Okay? I'm going to say beat the case.
So he probably harassed and threatened that girl to make her drop the charges.
Or not show
I
up.
mean,
Or not show
yeah,
up. That's usually what
knowing
happens.
what he's done to me, he's
Or
probably
not
done to her.
show
Yeah.
Yes, or not show up. Specifically, I called and I got the details. They are as follows. He was charged with the both of those. It was the same person. It appears that it was the same person. So the charges were kidnapping and rape against a woman in 2007. It went before the grand jury, and the grand jury did something that's called, well, in Texas we call it no bill, but basically it is where they decide to not indict the person. You know, it happens all the time when cops do this. No offense to the good cops, but so. And there are a number of reasons that can happen. That can happen. Usually it happens because the victim doesn't show up. Okay. So it could be that the victim doesn't show up. And I am 99% sure this was someone that he had dated. When it is an R allegation, right? And it's someone that you've dated, it makes it a lot more blurry because you're able to say, oh no, this is just an upset ex, or this was consensual sex. It's a lot harder to prove, rape I'm going to say, where you and the person have previously been intimate. So, I don't know all of the details, but what I do know is this. It didn't pop up because of the fact that he didn't get indicted. He then went back and had them seal the case, probably, is what my guess is, that they sealed the case. So it doesn't change the fact that he was still charged. This is why it's very important that you keep this information that I'm going to give you after we finish. I'm going to give you the complaint of the other woman who outlined how he stalked and how he, attacked her and her sister and their documents. And like I said, when you apply this third time, I wanted to look in your face now and tell you that, oh, okay, he's not dangerous. Oh, that's interesting.
I'm disgusted. I'm sick.
It is disgusting.
I'm sick.
Because unfortunately, if I could have, I would have reached out to that victim to get more information from her. But because it was sealed,
Right.
her information isn't included. But what's very important is that the next time, if you go for a protective order, hopefully you get a different judge. Someone wrote, well, can you ask for a different judge? You certainly can. But for a lot of times in smaller counties, they may have only one protective order judge.
Yeah.
The other
I
thing
asked for a different one.
And what did they tell you?
That she was the only one there that day. I was like, well, what about another day?
Yes, that's what we need to do. Come back another day. Come back another day and come back all together. So what happens is multiple people, you, your daughter, this other person that's a stranger, her daughter, y'all can all file for one the same day and ask for your hearing to be together, since it's all against the same person. So we'll get into a little bit more about that. But a lot of people also don't realize when you're asking for that, it's not just a physical assault that you're asking for protection from. It's your reputation. It's not ruining your livelihood. It's not ruining your job. It's not coming up to your job. It's not putting things on the internet that could cause you to lose a job or not be able to get a job. But if you're not aware, that all of those things can be grounds under the law, you don't necessarily know how to articulate it. So I hope this was helpful. Do we have any final questions? We're going to wrap up for tonight. Hit that like button, please. Someone said I need all women to do that. Absolutely. Hit that like button. And do you have any final questions before I get you these documents?
No, I'm still just in shock. I'm still just absolutely like how that could, even if you got it, I just don't understand how somebody can have a sexual charge just sealed. I feel like that should be something that we should know about.
Yeah. And it does make sense in cases where they don't get indicted, because that means there was a probable cause issue. But like I said before, it very likely could be an issue of him intimidating her to where she's too frightened to show up. It happens all the time. So in the end, I just want to reassure you, you were right. Your intuition was right. Thank you so much for trusting me with your matter. I'm going to get you these documents within 24 hours. Of course, you're going to get the unredacted version. So you have all of that. You can use that to apply, you can give it another try for this. Make sure you keep all the little disgusting things that he's, putting on Facebook regarding you or your daughter. Because that to me is predatory behavior. That's how, sexual predators behave. So again, if you have any other questions, like my last go round did I pretty much answer most of your questions there?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So again, you guys, I apologize. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. That's why I look like I was hit by a car. But I had to give you the tea. So again, if anyone else, if you want to win a background check, if you want one into, it could be a loved one, it could be a friend, whomever, make sure you hit the win a background check link. Or if you'd like a private consultation with me, I would be happy to do that as well. We can schedule that and you get those results privately. Have a great night, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Oh, make sure you share this with a friend and hit that like button on the way out. Take care.